The Reserve of the United States came out and say interest rates will stay low until 2014. We're now 2012. Rates will stay low till 2014. Why are they doing that? Because the economy is weak. They want to allow rates to stay low in order for interest rates to stay low, for mortgage rates to stay low, to eventually have the economy move. So the ingredients are in place. Slow growth means inflation's not an issue, apart from price of oil. Bonds in your portfolio, why bonds? And you look at the situation you have, balanced growth or growth, whatever portfolio, they always have bonds in it. And you saw why you had bonds in 2011, to cushion the volatility. Equity markets do well when interest rates are low. But again, they're a function of economic growth, and then economic growth, depending by region, will be different. Volatility is here to stay, so don't look at your portfolio every day. Don't ask your advisor to get access to your portfolio on the internet every day. Don't do that. If you want to do that, but it's not good for you. Because you're going to be focusing on the short term, and don't do that. Investment strategy, again, if you have a don't change your portfolio. I'm not recommending you get out, go in the situation where people say, is it time to get back in and get out? Have a plan, stay invested. There are times where you're going to delay your investment. There are times where you're going to be more cautious. That's what I'm saying today. Keep your strategy, but it's nothing wrong. If you got $2,000 aside, keep it aside for a time being, or 20, whatever the amount is in relation to your portfolio. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of cash these days. But say, wait, Mark, rates are zero. I was hearing that at the beginning of the year. 2011, I said, be cautious. There's still a sovereign debt issue. Well, interest rates are zero. I said, zero is better than minus 10. He said, what do you mean? It is possible, after the market being up 100, it is possible the market could go down 10%. And guess what? It did down. It did go down 10. So I'm saying a little bit of cash, a little bit of bond, continue to diversify, rebalance. And there are programs today that allow you to invest gradually, like on a weekly basis, called dollar cost averaging. It's a great way to do it. Anyway, so I'm not promoting that because I shouldn't be promoting it. I never talk product, I talk process, but you get the idea. So a little bit more, there are times that I would be like in March of 2009, I was 100% invested. I was buying back into, I said, it doesn't get any worse. And I got in and I had, all my money was invested big time. And then in the beginning of 11, I started to peel off my position and get a little bit of cash. Today I still have a little bit of cash, less than in October, but I still have a little bit of cash in my portfolio, because I think if something happens to Greece or Portugal and we get the market going down 6 or 7%, which is possible. If you look at it every day, you're going to shoot yourself, but if you look in terms of bigger time and you're there for the long term, a correction of 5 or 6 is doable, takes advantage, portfolio will be rebalanced, will be okay. All right? And some of the managers within the portfolios are keeping some cash. Don't fall for the latest fad. Beware when, and I'm going to close on this, beware when people tell you it's different this time. Run for the exit. What is different this time is you got a major shift from the developed world to emerging economies. The developed world is no longer growing at 4%. The developing world, and that's Europe, that's Japan, that is the developed economies of Europe are growing like, if we're lucky, a couple of percent, while the economies of India and China are growing between 8 and 10. And gradually they're going to become a larger part of the world economy. So it implies different strategy. You either invest in these companies or you take advantage of what they're buying. So investing in Canada is a nice way to benefit from the emergence of China because they're buying your commodities. And you don't have a currency risk and stuff, so it's a safe way to do it. I have a long-term view. Don't focus on the short term. Don't let your emotion drive your action. Let me just put you that chart and I'm going to be done. I say that all the time. I got another 67 slides. And that's the English version. The French version, 149. This is us. You've probably seen that. If you're not, I'll play the tape for you. This is the way we are. Start from optimism, and then we get into a phase of total euphoria. That was summer of 2008, and the price of oil, Canada was going to be able to disconnect from the world economy. It's amazing what I was reading these days. It makes no sense whatsoever. Canada will decouple from the rest of the world. What are you smoking? Canada cannot decouple from the world economy because Canada is impacted by the world economy. We're either sending stuff to the United States or we're sending stuff to China that is buying our commodities. We cannot decouple. Maybe we can decouple for the weekend. Maybe we can have one for a long time. Doesn't work. Come on, give me a break. That's a great joke. All right, so and then peak, and people say it's time to buy. And I remember, people are going, forget diversification, let's go and load up on Canada. And I've seen people selling global, going Canada, adding commodities on top of it. And then it rolled over because the world was going into, after the financial crisis, we went into a recession and everything fell off a cliff. It was like, get me out of here. This is March of '09. Get me out. For us, maximum financial opportunity. It's down big time. It doesn't get any worse. Back up the truck. This point, it doesn't get any better. I'm out of here. When I say out of here, I'm not selling everything. I'm just change your portfolios. And today we're probably here. A little bit of relief, a little bit of optimism. If we can fix this sovereign debt issue, we're going to do it again. All right. So that's the nature. If you don't have a strategy or a game plan or a process, that's going to be your process. You're going to be buying at the top and you're going to be selling at the low, which is exactly what you should be doing. Unless you don't want to pay taxes, because you'll never pay taxes because you'll never make any money. So this is the way we run money, and I've been using that slide for, I would say, probably 9 years. The only thing I've done last year, I changed the colors. It's the same principle. I come from the institutional where I was running money for large pension plan. Alcam, Bombardier, Quebec Hydro, IBM, Xerox were my clients. We're running about $9 billion of money. And that's what we were doing at the time. And that's what we were doing in the portfolio. We're doing the same thing. Assess your objective. What are your objectives? I need my money in 3 months. We're not having a long conversation about emerging markets in your portfolio. You need your money in 3 months. We're going to put your money in a certificate of deposit or treasury bill or something, or leave it in the account because it pays zero anyway, and you take it when you need it in 3 months from now. If your game plan is 5 years from now, well, you need to have a strategy that's going to be a little bit different. If you keep it cash and you get a little bit of inflation, you're going to get an erosion of portfolio. So define your objective, then translate into an asset allocation, bonds, equities, Canada, US, different industry, different structure, style diversification, growth managers are buying. Facebook is going public, new IPO. Wow, this guy is worth like $28 billion. Totally uncivilized, not civilized, socialized. Total lack of social capabilities. I wish I had the same. $28 billion. Facebook. The kids are no longer going on Facebook. They're tweeting now. Facebook is for the old guys. Seriously, it's for the old guys. I have none of the Twitter. I deleted that from my iPad, my telephone. I don't want to be accessed. I have enough friends. Now you got LinkedIn now for professional. People say, Mark, I identified you as a friend. Look at the picture, don't know the guy. Yeah, maybe it looks good on your resume to know that you know me. I have no idea, but you're not your friend, delete. And then you get another warning, and they eventually take over your computer and you're done. Style diversification, manager selection, and rebalancing. The key to success is the rebalancing feature. Rebalance. Bonds, equities, different. Markets are fluctuate, we do that too. So that's, I'm going to show you the last slide because it's a compliance thing. That don't do I can go to jail. Can you read it? Commission training, commission, yes, President. Have you seen it? Thank you very much.
Sign, what was this is recorded.
I'm sorry about it. All right, so the point is, we're going to volatile time. Change is the only constant. It will continue. It will continue, and I'm guaranteeing I'm going to be here for the next 25 years doing what I'm doing. It's in my genes. My dad's 91, alive and kicking. So I'm only 63. I got another 25 years to go, and I'm sure we're going to see stuff over the next 25 years going to be totally unbelievable. Adapt to change, because if not, you're going to be totally miserable. But the principle do not change. The principle of running money is always the same. Diversify, because we don't know. Diversification is managing risk and managing uncertainty. That's why you build portfolio. All right? Any questions? Yes.
I'd like to ask, in our interest, which is better, a front-loaded or a back-loaded portfolio?
This is a loaded question that I will pass back to your advisor.
Well, it depends, really.
That's what I wanted to say, but
If your portfolio is great $100,000, you can have, even better than front end or back end, you can have fee base, where your management expense ratio would be lower than the retail regular expense ratio. If, back end, usually we only recommend back end when someone is just starting out and they have very, very little amount of money, and they don't need their money for at least 6 years, then instead of them writing us a check for our service, then we can earn a commission when it's a back end. And then, when you reach a certain point, we stop doing this and we switch, over to fee base, where it's less, it's more economical. This is actually the portfolio that we're talking about today. At the $100,000 level, it's available on the fee base. So it has a lower expense ratio, a lower fee, overall lower fees, and you can get the fee base at the $100,000 level. So that's a really good thing that just started this year, brand new thing. So if you see I series next to the fund name, that's what you have. It's all the same thing to us, by the way. So it's all the same fee. So we charge the same fee across the board for the service that we provide.
I could not have said it better. Any other questions?
How will the North American economy and perhaps the world economy look upon whether the U.S. elects a Democratic president or a Republican president in the fall?
I think it's irrelevant. I think it's irrelevant. In any situation, whether it's the Republican or the Democrats, they've got major issues in terms of deficit. The question was asked. The problem also is being compounded by demography. The cost of health care is going through the roof as we're getting older. And that's a problem. And pension plan are in the same position. 25 years ago or 30 years ago, there was 5 or 6 or 7 workers for one retiree. Today you have certain industries where you have 2 workers for a bunch of retirees. The thing has shifted completely. So I would say it's irrelevant. I don't think it's going to have a major impact. The way the U.S. system is structured, they've got all sorts of checks and balances. Even though there's one government or one party being elected, there's always the veto by the other guy, and they can go champ. It was created in 17 and change, and I think it's no longer. The Tea Party would go back to that. Just eliminate the Federal Reserve, eliminate the system. Everything's great, and get your gun and shoot the guys that are not able to go and survive. That's the culture. So I don't think it's going to have an impact. I think it's negligible. But the bottom line, yeah, please.
Would the European situation change drastically if Greece either defaulted or opted out of the Eurozone?
Which is not to be excluded, because it's not in the current. In the introduction, he made reference to Canada. Canada was able to get his act together because they had control on its currency. First of all, they just started to raise taxes and fix government finances and cut on all expenses. But at the same time, because the Canadian dollar was low, it allowed the Canadian economy to be competitive versus U.S. manufacturing. Greece has no control on the currency. So they're forcing Greece to tighten up. The more tightening up they're forcing on Greece, the more the tax revenues are not coming in. People are not paying the taxes. So natural. My advisor is Greek, and he says it's a national pastime not to pay taxes. It is part of the game plan. Don't pay taxes. We shouldn't pay taxes. All right. So the culture was made that way. And Greece, when they became part of Euro, instead of taking advantage of lower interest rates to go and fix their economy, they took advantage of lower interest rates to go and then explode the civil servant and get an economy that is totally dysfunctional. So today you're forcing these people to go and tighten up. The question is, will they be able to become competitive versus other European countries? The answer is no. So the only way out, it's like, let's use I like analogy, the cow one, forget it. It's like being on a diet. You need 2,400 calories a day to be able to do okay. And then you put the Greeks on the diet and say, well, 2,400 is not good enough, so you're going to go 1,500. There's no problem. Okay, I'm going to cut the baklava, I'm just going for the souvlaki, do the stuff, a little bit of wine, that's it. I cut that. And they say, it's not fast enough. I'm going to put you on a diet of 900 calories. And the guy says, well, I can do it, but I'm going to die eventually. So I think Greece, and that's why they made the Greece a premier, or the premier or president, I don't know how they run the country, but essentially came out, we need a referendum. So you reach a point where you're going to say, will they be able to get out of that problem within the Eurozone, even though if they're lending them the money at lower interest rates? I'm not sure. Maybe the only way out is for them to say, we're abandoning the euro, we go back to the drachma, then you become competitive. If you have to, I've been to Greece 20 years ago. What's the advantage going to Greece? Two colors in Greece, blue and white. Houses are white, and the sky is always a beautiful blue. If you had the choice today, and then they're priced in euro. If tomorrow you can go to Greece and there was no longer the euro and the prices in drachma, and you can go to the 5-star hotel in Greece, instead of paying 229 euros, you can get it from 129, you probably would go. So the only way they can revive the economy is allowing their currency to go down. All right? And I think eventually it's going to come. They're gradually preparing for that. Greece needs another loan by the end of March. So that's why I'm saying keep a little bit of cash. That's why I'm saying keep a little bit of cash. I don't know. Everybody's assuming it's going to be resolved properly. I think it's going to end very badly. The problem they have, if Greece leaves, the other guys will say, what about me? Why am I stuck in the euro? So we don't know. So there is uncertainty. We don't know how the movie ends. But there's going to be a bad ending somewhere. Will they kill somebody? Will they get chainsaw massacre? We don't know. But there's going to be something at the end with the music. Something's going to happen. Keep a little bit of cash. Be more defensive on that. But again, it doesn't mean you get out of your portfolio, you go back. It means stay to your portfolio and be a little bit more defensive. And we said 7 o'clock, 7:15, so I'm putting the mouth out of gear. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
For a little bit, and Mark as well, so if you have personal questions, please go and ask him, or us, of course. Thank you again for coming. Does everybody have a little ticket here? I have Graham and Yvonne's ticket here.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah, where are they? Okay.
If you give me $10, I can assure you win.
This is for Graham and Yvonne. I'm going to hold it.
You want that in bold?
Yes, please.
That's right, Yvonne.
Okay, good. So I need someone to maybe last Mark.
No, Ryan.
Ryan,
He's got it.
okay, so we have 3 bottles of wine, and we have a car emergency kit, which looks really neat. And then we have a fantastic Vancouver history book from
Chuck Davis, Illustrated History of Vancouver.
and we also have a cheese board. So the first, you get to pick. The first person gets to pick. Okay, so number is
Aha!
18475. Yes.
She's reached a point in life when the arms are not long enough to read.
475. Last 3 digits. No?
It's me!
188475. That's so much.
That's a good start, yeah.
Somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Good enough.
188469.
469.
Come on up.
Do we have a winner?
They left.
Nicola. Okay, so we'll just do another one. We'll do that quickly.
450.
Yes, please come up
you
and
get to
you
pick.
make your own selection.
Right there.
We have some liquid refreshments, we have the book, we have the
Alright.
cheese board kit,
Let me do this one.
we have the emergency vote kit.
464. 464. En français, 464.
Ici, I believe so.
Stir the pot again. Stir the pot, Odette.
All right.
Congratulations.
Odette.
464.
Shake the pot.
Odette.
Thank you. How many more left? 2 more.
Stir the pot.
Yes.
You're a winner. Whoa.
Too many, 4.
All right.
Wow.
That's a good choice.
441.
See?
Lucky dip. Good to judge.
That's too much.
Cheese board, the book, the emergency road kit.
444.
Oh, it's a very good. Yeah, it's got that sign down.
You win a copy of my presentation.
Brandy.
Really, Randy. Bravo, congratulations. Cheese board and utensils with the cheese board.
463.
463.
Healthy days in emergency.
463.
We had her stew the pot.
461.
461.
461.
We were, because we were like,
No?
Sure.
No, 461?
461.
I never went in. I guess I'll try to.
Okay. One more.
Here we go.
474.
No, I never
Ask questions. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And we're all there, to help you or whatever you need or questions.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. I love it. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. No worries.
Alors, je m'excuse d'être sorti de...
Pas mal, t'es pas mal
Je suis
tannant.
pas capable, je suis pas capable de rester.
Ça fait plus actif, c'est ça.
Quand un moment donné, j'avais vendu ma business, j'étais partenaire d'une business, puis j'avais vendu une grosse organisation qui s'appelait Danley. Puis il avait décidé de filmer une série de choses qu'on faisait à travers le Canada, puis le chairman qui nous avait acheté, c'était un gars bien tête, il était by the book. Il avait fait un stage, puis il avait mis un X.
Les vidéographes aiment ça.
Ouais, il fallait qu'on soit là. Fait que moi, j'arrive, les gars avec qui je faisais business étaient dans la salle. J'ai dit au gars, si moi je reste pas sur le X, il dit, Mac, il vient d'acheter ton business, c'est mieux de rester sur le X, ça va aller mal. Fait que j'allais dire, écoute, le gars est allé en arrière, il me filmait à 150 personnes dans la salle. Je dis, écoute, c'est intéressant ici, je sais pas, est-ce qu'il y a un X sur stage, je sais pas c'est pourquoi. D'après moi, il faut pas que je pèle dessus. Il était en avant, le gars, il me regardait, il disait, toi, là. Lui est parti, moi, je suis encore là. Mais c'est ça, mais quand tu essaies de filmer, c'est que c'est... Il y a des gens qui sont à l'aise au podium. Moi, j'aime ça. J'aime ça. Mais c'est parce que je l'oubliais à un moment donné que tu étais là. C'est correct?
Ce qui est bien, ce qui est bien.
OK.